My name's Jamie. I co-founded FreelyGive. We're a company that have become obsessed with AI. So our focus have been really pushing AI and Drupal forwards. We started off in the native Drupal CRM space, building products, but it's expanded to really focusing on what can we do with AI, enabling builders to make amazing things with AI. I've also joined the Drupal AI initiative, so I'm one of the founding members of an international Drupal-wide mixture of organizations and people pushing Drupal and AI forwards. We've been close to OpenSocial for a very long time. We've been really interested in Drupal products generally and the product space with OpenSocial. OpenSocial were a pioneer in working with us on taking some of the AI underlying features that we built in the Drupal community and then turning them into real products that people could use inside OpenSocial. So we've been working closely on those Gaia AI products. Just finding out the knowledge, the information, what's going on, both in resource libraries, but also the tacit knowledge that is coming from the people that are discussing things inside your community. Being able to find that and access it. AI is very powerful at finding things based around understanding the meaning and purpose and goals of what's been said, not just looking for a particular word. It's going to be very powerful going forward, especially when you have an international community that may talk and use things slightly differently. A lot of OpenSocial users are in an international community and they're all speaking a variety of languages. And we've had translation tools for a while that can take exactly what you say and translate it into another language. And I think one thing that's powerful about AI translation is it can do more than just take the words or even sentences and translate them, but it can look at how would that come across in different cultures. There was a really great example early on where someone from Sweden wanted to help make a cover letter, and early AI, it would translate, or it would write things in Swedish, but it would do it in a very American style. So you could prompt this AI to make it so that it told you what Swedish culture is like, some rules of how to write, and so instead of just writing an American style cover letter in the Swedish language, it could also look at cultural norms. And I think for something like that, across an international community space where a lot of people are going to be speaking in a language or communicating or collaborating in a language that isn't their first, into cultures that aren't their culture, having AI help you both translate but also give you pointers on how you can come across more effectively, how you can come across in a way that is more collaborative, that fits with the norms, any kind of red flags of things you shouldn't say. And I think that will really help drive engagement. And I think it's a really powerful thing that, LLMs can help with a lot. One thing about Drupal is the sovereignty. So both data sovereignty, but also the software you're using and how it works and what it connects with, you're in full control over. There's always that fear that if you go with a third-party company and you're not in control of your data and you get a good price and everything looks good, that they can lock you in and raise prices later or do things that you don't want. And Drupal gives you that sovereignty. And so when you work with a Drupal partner or Drupal product, you know that long term you own your data. You can a lot of the time own the code and you can go in the direction that your company and your organization needs. And internationally, I think this becomes incredibly important to have control over your data to comply with your local norms on privacy, on approach. I think that's a really big, powerful thing in Drupal because it is open source. And there are other open source approaches. Many software have frameworks aimed at developers and programmers to build things. We have a user experience that allows non-developers to customize things and create things. And in OpenSocial, not all of that is exposed because the stuff you can do is quite powerful, and that can allow end users to really control and understand what the AI is doing. Maybe slightly shift prompts around so you can push it to reply with a certain tone. We've already done some of that with the OpenSocial CK editor tools, where you can bring in some of your own brand guidelines and your own tone for how it writes things. One thing that we noticed actually whilst we were building a lot of the tools for OpenSocial was the programmers could make a chatbot. They could make it physically work, they could make it work on lots of browsers. But when it came to making the relevancy score or making the chatbot, it was not the developers who really pushed it forward, it was the community managers who knew that kind of tacit feel of how do people like to be talked about, what are the problems they try and solve, what is relevant to them. I think that's been a really powerful thing that we've seen in Drupal generally, and especially with Open Social. It's democratizing, getting to the power of AI to not just democratizing it from a money point of view because it's open source, but also skills point of view, because now non-developers can join in the power of what AI offers. One power of Open Social and being on this kind of wider platform is a lot of the customers who are using Open Social for the community engagement will also be using Drupal for their front-end website or some other tools. And so I think there's something quite exciting as a digital public good that when money is spent on improving some of the core features in the community platform, those core features can be used in other areas of many of these organizations like the United Nations or the European Commission, who use Drupal for a wide variety of different things. With Drupal, we can share all of the innovation that we have in one place, we can share it appropriately with the other places. And because some organizations use Drupal for many things, that will help them across their own organization, but also generally in the digital public good space, with more countries and NGOs being able to take advantage of the innovative things that we build here.